In 2026, the world will not ask you how much you know. It will ask how well you understand yourself. Machines will be faster, smarter, and more efficient than ever before. Algorithms will predict behavior, automate decisions, and even create ideas. But there is one thing they will never truly master: the human heart. And that is why this moment belongs to those who can feel, listen, adapt, and connect. For many years, we believed success came from being the smartest person in the room. Today, success comes from being the most aware. The future is not about competing with technology, it is about complementing it with humanity. When everything becomes intelligent, emotional intelligence becomes priceless. Look around you. The pace of change is breathtaking. Careers are shifting, industries are transforming, and uncertainty has become our daily companion. In such a world, the strongest people are not those who never fall, but those who understand their emotions when they do. They know how to stay calm in chaos, how to find clarity in confusion, and how to move forward when the path is unclear. In 2026, leadership will no longer be defined by authority or titles. It will be defined by empathy. People will not follow you because you are powerful, they will follow you because you understand them. Teams will not succeed because of perfect plans, but because of trust, respect, and emotional safety. When pressure rises, emotional intelligence decides whether we react or respond. When failure arrives, it decides whether we quit or learn. When success comes, it decides whether we grow arrogant or grateful. These invisible skills shape visible outcomes. The future belongs to those who can manage emotions before managing systems, who can build relationships before building empires, and who can stay human in a world becoming increasingly digital. 2026 is not just a new year. It is a new test of patience, empathy, and inner strength. Those who pass it will not merely survive the future. They will thrive. 2026 represents more than a change in calendar. It marks a fundamental shift in how value is created and recognized. For decades, the world rewarded those who could memorize more, calculate faster, and master technical expertise. Knowledge was power and skills were currency. But as we approach 2026, something remarkable is happening. Knowledge is becoming abundant, skills are becoming automated, and intelligence is becoming scalable. When everyone has access to the same information and similar tools, what truly sets people apart is no longer what they know, but how they think, feel, and respond. Technology is leveling the playing field. Artificial intelligence can analyze data in seconds, write reports, design systems, and even simulate creativity. Technical skills that once took years to learn can now be replicated or assisted by machines almost instantly. This does not make humans less important. It makes human qualities more important than ever. When machines handle logic, efficiency, and speed, humans must bring judgment, empathy, ethics, and emotional awareness. In this turning point, self-awareness becomes more valuable than certificates, and emotional control becomes more powerful than raw intelligence. The ability to understand one's own fears, motivations, and reactions allows individuals to make better decisions under pressure. In a fast-changing world, those who panic lose direction, while those who understand their emotions gain clarity. This inner clarity becomes a competitive advantage. Workplaces in 2026 will prioritize collaboration over competition. Diverse teams, remote environments, and cross-cultural interactions demand emotional intelligence to function effectively. The smartest idea will fail if it is communicated without sensitivity. The best strategy will collapse if trust is missing. People who can listen deeply, resolve conflict calmly, and inspire confidence will naturally rise, not because they demand authority, but because others feel safe and understood around them. Leadership is also being redefined at this turning point. The old model of command and control is losing relevance. In its place emerges a leader who can connect, motivate, and adapt. Employees no longer seek bosses who have all the answers. They seek leaders who ask the right questions and genuinely care about people. Emotional intelligence allows leaders to sense unspoken concerns, manage uncertainty, and create purpose even in unstable times. Even beyond careers, life in 2026 requires emotional strength. Constant change, digital overload, and social pressure test mental resilience daily. Those who rely only on external success struggle when circumstances shift. Those who understand their inner world can remain balanced even when the outer world is unstable. This is why 2026 stands as a turning point where human skills outweigh technical skills, where the future quietly selects those who are emotionally agile, self-aware, and deeply human. As artificial intelligence accelerates into every corner of life, its presence no longer feels distant or optional. By 2026, AI will not just assist work, it will influence decisions, shape communication, and redefine productivity. Tasks that once required teams, time, and experience can now be completed in moments. This rapid advancement creates a strange paradox. The more intelligent our systems become, the more valuable distinctly human intelligence becomes. In a world where machines can think, calculate, and predict, the ability to feel, empathize, and intuit becomes the ultimate differentiator. AI operates on patterns, data, and probabilities. It excels at logic and efficiency, but it does not understand meaning the way humans do. It cannot feel fear and uncertainty, hope and struggle, or trust in relationships. When everything becomes optimized, people start craving authenticity. When responses are automated, genuine understanding stands out. Emotional intelligence fills the gap between what machines can do and what humans truly need from one another. As AI takes over repetitive and analytical tasks, human roles shift toward interpretation, judgment, and connection. Decisions in 2026 will not be made on data alone. They will require emotional context, ethical awareness, and cultural sensitivity. A machine can suggest the best option, but it cannot sense the emotional impact of that choice on a team, a customer, or a community. People who can read emotional undercurrents and respond with empathy will guide outcomes that technology alone cannot achieve. Trust will become the rarest and most valuable currency in the AI era. When people interact with systems they do not fully understand, fear and skepticism naturally grow. Leaders, entrepreneurs, and professionals who possess emotional intelligence can bridge this gap. They can communicate complex change with compassion, reduce anxiety through clarity, and build confidence through presence. While AI delivers information, emotionally intelligent humans deliver reassurance. Creativity will also take on a new meaning. AI can generate content, but it does not feel purpose. Emotional intelligence allows humans to infuse ideas with intention, values, and relevance. Stories that move people, visions that inspire action, and missions that create loyalty all emerge from emotional understanding. In a marketplace filled with machine-generated solutions, emotionally resonant experiences will stand out. Even personal identity is challenged by AI's rise. When machines outperform humans in many areas, self-worth can be shaken. Emotional intelligence becomes essential for maintaining confidence and adaptability. Those who understand their emotions can embrace AI as a partner rather than fear it as a threat. They focus on growth, learning, and collaboration instead of comparison. The rise of AI does not reduce the importance of people, it clarifies it. As technology grows stronger, the human capacity to connect, empathize, and emotionally navigate complexity becomes the true advantage. In 2026, emotional intelligence will not be a soft skill. It will be the skill that defines relevance, leadership, and lasting success in the world moving toward 2026. Leadership is undergoing a quiet but powerful transformation. Authority, position, and expertise alone are no longer enough to inspire people or drive meaningful progress. At the center of this shift stands self-awareness, an ability once considered personal and internal, now emerging as the most critical leadership superpower. Leaders who understand themselves deeply are better equipped to navigate complexity, influence others, and remain grounded in uncertainty. Self-awareness begins with recognizing one's own emotions, strengths, weaknesses, and triggers. In fast-paced environments, leaders are constantly under pressure, making decisions that affect people, resources, and futures. Without self-awareness, pressure leads to reactive behavior, ego-driven choices, and blind spots that quietly damage trust. With self-awareness, leaders pause, reflect, and respond intentionally. They know when fear is influencing a decision and when pride is blocking growth. This clarity creates better judgment and steadier leadership. As organizations become more diverse and interconnected, leadership requires sensitivity as much as strategy. Self-aware leaders understand how their words, tone, and behavior affect others. They are conscious of their impact, not just their intent. This awareness allows them to communicate with authenticity, listen without defensiveness, and adjust their approach based on the emotional needs of their teams. People do not feel managed around such leaders, they feel seen. Self-awareness also unlocks humility, a quality increasingly essential in an era of rapid change. No leader can have all the answers in a world shaped by constant disruption. Those who are self-aware are comfortable admitting what they do not know. They seek feedback, invite collaboration, and view learning as strength rather than weakness. This openness fosters innovation and psychological safety, where ideas can flourish without fear. In moments of failure, self-awareness becomes a stabilizing force. Instead of blaming others or external circumstances, self-aware leaders examine their role with honesty. They extract lessons instead of excuses. This behavior sets a powerful example, teaching teams that growth comes from reflection, not denial. Over time, such leadership builds resilience and credibility. Confidence, when rooted in self-awareness, becomes calm and grounded rather than loud or controlling. Leaders who know their values and limitations do not need constant validation. They can remain steady during criticism and generous during success. Their presence creates trust because it feels genuine and consistent. As 2026 approaches, the leaders who stand out will not be those with the most impressive resumes, but those with the deepest understanding of themselves. Self-awareness allows leaders to align their actions with their values, their decisions with their purpose, and their influence with empathy. In a future defined by change, this inner clarity becomes the source of outer strength, shaping leaders who can guide others not by force, but by understanding. In the rapidly evolving world leading into 2026. Empathy is no longer a moral ideal reserved for personal relationships. It has become a powerful competitive advantage. As markets grow more crowded and technologies more accessible, the true difference between those who succeed and those who fade is how well they understand people. Empathy allows individuals and organizations to move beyond transactions and build meaningful connections that create loyalty, trust, and long-term value. Empathy begins with the ability to see situations through another person's perspective. In business and in life, decisions are often made based on logic and efficiency, yet people do not experience the world logically alone. They experience it emotionally. When leaders, entrepreneurs, and professionals take the time to understand what others feel, fear, and hope for, their actions become more relevant and impactful. Solutions become more human, and communication becomes more effective. In customer relationships, empathy transforms service into experience. By understanding the emotional needs behind a problem, organizations can design products and services that genuinely resonate. People remember how they were treated long after they forget features or prices. When customers feel understood, they forgive mistakes more easily, remain loyal longer, and become advocates rather than just buyers. In competitive environments, this emotional bond becomes difficult to replicate. Within teams, empathy strengthens collaboration and performance. Diverse backgrounds, cultures, and perspectives bring innovation, but they also bring misunderstanding. Empathy allows individuals to listen without judgment and respond without defensiveness. Conflicts are resolved faster, trust deepens, and cooperation replaces competition. Teams guided by empathy do not just work harder, they work with purpose and unity. Empathy also plays a crucial role during times of change and uncertainty. As industries shift and roles evolve, fear and resistance naturally arise. Leaders who acknowledge these emotions rather than dismiss them create stability in unstable times. By validating concerns and communicating with compassion, they reduce anxiety and increase engagement. People are more willing to embrace change when they feel emotionally supported. In leadership, empathy enhances influence without force. People do not commit their best efforts to those who only demand results. They commit to those who care about their growth and well-being. Empathetic leaders recognize individual strengths and challenges, allowing them to guide development more effectively. This approach not only improves performance but also reduces burnout and disengagement. As automation increases and digital interactions replace face-to-face contact, empathy becomes even more valuable. In a world where efficiency is easy to copy, understanding people is not. Empathy cannot be automated, outsourced, or scaled by machines alone. It remains a uniquely human capability that shapes trust, loyalty, and meaningful success. In 2026, those who lead with empathy will not just connect with people. They will stand out in a world craving understanding. As the world moves toward 2026, uncertainty is no longer an occasional disruption, it has become a constant condition. Change happens faster than plans can be finalized, and stability feels temporary rather than permanent. In this environment, emotional resilience emerges as a critical skill, not just for success, but for survival. Emotional resilience is the ability to remain steady under pressure, adapt to setbacks, and continue moving forward without losing purpose or balance. In an age of speed, people are expected to respond instantly, perform continuously, and adapt endlessly. This creates emotional strain that cannot be solved by intelligence or effort alone. Without resilience, pressure turns into burnout, fear turns into paralysis, and failure turns into self-doubt. Emotionally resilient individuals, however, experience the same challenges but respond differently. They acknowledge stress without being controlled by it and accept change without being overwhelmed by it. Emotional resilience does not mean suppressing emotions or pretending everything is fine. It means understanding emotions and using them as signals rather than obstacles. When disappointment arises, resilient people reflect instead of reacting. When uncertainty appears, they focus on what they can influence rather than what they cannot. This emotional flexibility allows them to recover faster and maintain momentum, even when outcomes are unclear. In professional life, resilience determines who thrives under pressure and who retreats. Projects fail, markets shift, and feedback can be harsh. Those without emotional resilience take these experiences personally, allowing them to erode confidence. Those with resilience separate their identity from temporary outcomes. They learn, adjust, and continue with greater insight. Over time, this ability compounds into confidence and credibility. Leadership in 2026 will demand resilience more than certainty. Leaders are expected to provide direction even when the future is unpredictable. Emotional resilience allows leaders to remain calm in chaos, offering reassurance through presence rather than promises. Their steadiness becomes a source of stability for others. Teams draw strength from leaders who can acknowledge difficulty without spreading fear. On a personal level, constant comparison, digital overload, and social pressure test emotional strength daily. Resilience helps individuals maintain self-worth in a world of curated success and constant noise. It allows people to disconnect from negativity, set boundaries, and protect their mental energy. This inner stability supports long-term growth and well-being. As life accelerates, emotional resilience becomes the foundation that supports learning, innovation, and adaptability. It enables people to face uncertainty with courage rather than anxiety, and change with curiosity rather than resistance. In 2026, those who cultivate emotional resilience will not just endure the speed of the world, they will navigate it with clarity, strength, and sustained momentum. As the world becomes more digital, fast, and automated, something unexpected happens. Human connection becomes more valuable, not less. By 2026, influence will not be measured only by reach, authority, or data, but by trust. In an environment filled with noise, information, and constant interaction, people choose to listen to those they trust. Human connection becomes the currency that determines credibility, cooperation, and lasting impact. Trust is built through consistent, emotionally intelligent interactions. It grows when people feel heard, respected, and understood. In professional relationships, technical expertise may open the door, but connection keeps it open. Clients, partners, and teams are more likely to commit to someone who shows genuine interest and empathy than someone who only delivers efficiency. When trust is present, collaboration becomes smoother and resistance fades. Human connection also strengthens influence in leadership. In 2026, people will not follow instructions blindly, they will follow meaning. Leaders who take time to build relationships earn loyalty that cannot be demanded. Simple actions such as listening attentively, acknowledging effort, and showing vulnerability create emotional bonds. These bonds translate into engagement, motivation, and shared purpose. Influence rooted in connection is deeper and more enduring than influence rooted in authority. In business, trust accelerates decision-making and reduces friction. When relationships are strong, negotiations are faster, feedback is more honest, and mistakes are addressed without fear. Teams that trust one another share ideas freely and support each other under pressure. This openness leads to innovation and resilience, both essential in a rapidly changing environment. Human connection also plays a vital role in a world shaped by remote work and virtual communication. Screens create efficiency but can dilute emotional presence. Those who intentionally cultivate connection through authenticity and attentiveness stand out. A thoughtful message, a moment of understanding, or a sincere conversation can create impact far beyond formal communication. These small moments build a sense of belonging in otherwise fragmented environments. As artificial intelligence handles transactions and processes, people seek connection to find meaning. Customers want to feel valued, employees want to feel recognized, and communities want to feel understood. Organizations and individuals who prioritize connection create emotional loyalty that technology alone cannot replicate. Trust becomes a competitive advantage because it cannot be copied or automated. Ultimately, influence in 2026 will flow through relationships, not hierarchies. Human connection transforms interactions into partnerships and audiences into communities. Those who invest in trust, empathy, and presence will find that doors open more easily, support comes more willingly, and impact extends further. In a world moving faster than ever, human connection becomes the anchor that gives influence depth, strength, and lasting power. As technology continues to advance toward 2026, many people focus on learning new tools, systems, and platforms, believing that mastery of technology alone will secure their future. Yet the deeper challenge lies not in managing machines, but in managing emotions. Technology amplifies human behavior, and without emotional control, even the most powerful tools can lead to poor decisions, conflict, and burnout. Learning to manage emotions before managing technology becomes essential in a world where speed magnifies every reaction. When emotions are unmanaged, technology accelerates mistakes. A rushed message can damage relationships, a reactive decision can create lasting consequences, and constant connectivity can blur boundaries between work and life. Emotionally aware individuals pause before responding, even when technology invites immediacy. They understand that speed without awareness leads to regret, while emotional control leads to clarity. Managing emotions begins with recognizing internal states before engaging with external systems. Stress, fear, excitement, and frustration all influence how technology is used. In 2026, notifications, data streams, and digital demands will only increase. Those who lack emotional regulation become overwhelmed, distracted, and reactive. Those who develop emotional intelligence use technology intentionally rather than compulsively. They choose when to engage, when to disconnect, and how to maintain focus amid constant stimulation. In leadership and decision-making, emotional management determines whether technology becomes a support or a liability. Data may suggest a direction, but emotions shape how that data is interpreted. Fear can cause leaders to overreact to trends, while overconfidence can lead to ignoring warning signs. Leaders who understand their emotional patterns make more balanced decisions, combining technological insight with human judgment. This balance creates wiser strategies and more sustainable outcomes. Managing emotions also protects relationships in a digital environment. Written communication lacks tone and context, making misunderstandings easy. Emotional intelligence helps individuals communicate with care, clarity, and empathy. They anticipate how messages will be received, not just how they are sent. This awareness reduces conflict and strengthens collaboration, especially in virtual teams. On a personal level, emotional management safeguards well-being. Constant access to information can create anxiety, comparison, and mental fatigue. Those who understand their emotional limits set boundaries that preserve energy and focus. They use technology as a tool rather than allowing it to dictate their attention or self-worth. As systems grow more complex, the human inner world becomes the true control center. Technology will continue to evolve, but emotions remain the driving force behind how it is used. By mastering emotional awareness first, individuals gain the ability to guide technology with intention, responsibility, and wisdom. In 2026, those who manage emotions before managing technology will not only perform better, but will maintain balance, clarity, and humanity in an increasingly digital world. As 2026 approaches, the challenge facing individuals is no longer simply how to endure change, but how to rise through it. Surviving is about coping, maintaining, and getting by. Thriving is about growth, meaning, and momentum even when conditions are uncertain. In a world defined by rapid transformation, Emotional intelligence becomes the dividing line between those who merely survive the future and those who shape it. Thriving requires more than resilience, it requires emotional agility. People who thrive are able to read situations accurately, understand their emotional responses, and adjust their behavior accordingly. Instead of being controlled by fear or frustration, they use emotions as information. This awareness allows them to stay curious rather than defensive, open rather than rigid. As a result, change becomes an opportunity for expansion rather than a threat to stability. In professional life, thriving means staying relevant and engaged despite constant disruption. Roles evolve, expectations shift, and certainty fades. Emotionally intelligent individuals do not cling to outdated identities or methods. They adapt with confidence because their sense of self is not tied to a single role or outcome. They seek feedback, embrace learning, and remain flexible without losing direction. This mindset allows them to grow alongside change instead of being overwhelmed by it. Thriving also depends on the quality of relationships. Emotional intelligence strengthens communication, deepens trust, and creates collaboration that fuels progress. People who thrive understand that success is rarely a solo journey. They invest in connections, support others, and build environments where ideas and people can flourish. These relationships become sources of energy, creativity, and shared purpose. On a personal level, thriving involves alignment between inner values and external actions. Emotional intelligence helps individuals recognize what truly matters to them and make choices that reflect those priorities. This alignment reduces inner conflict and increases fulfillment. Even during challenging periods, emotionally intelligent individuals maintain a sense of meaning that sustains motivation and optimism. Thriving in 2026 also means maintaining balance in a fast, demanding world. Emotional intelligence allows individuals to manage stress, set boundaries, and preserve mental well-being. Rather than sacrificing health for achievement, they understand that sustained success requires emotional sustainability. They know when to push forward and when to pause, creating rhythms that support long-term growth. The future will continue to test adaptability, patience, and emotional strength. Those who approach it with awareness, empathy, and intentionality will experience more than survival. They will find growth in uncertainty, purpose in change, and confidence in their ability to navigate complexity. In 2026, thriving becomes a choice shaped by emotional intelligence, guiding individuals toward a future defined not by fear, but by possibility.